and welcome back to the BlueDragon Problem Solving Academy. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about tracking common causes. All right, so why is this important? Well, let's talk about a couple of things. So remember in the old days, we used to have a lot of lines coming from all of our Y trees or Y staircases. And when we had a few of our common causes started showing up, we ended up drawing a whole lot of lines from all over the place to these common causes. And it started to clutter up our board really badly. Remember that? What was the other problem? I remember very vividly working like heck to try to avoid having some kind of a swastika or something show up on my diagrams. We don't want swastikas in our diagrams. So, and then anytime I had to change one of these Y staircases and move it around over here to group things together a little bit better, well, what happened then? Okay, I had to erase all the lines and start over. And of course, I couldn't do that in my white paper. So this got really messy. Even in Excel, it was difficult to do in Excel. So after a couple of years of doing it that way, I thought we need a more modern version of this. And we have to grow with the times. It's not a big deal for small, compact little blue dragons like this. But imagine when I had 50, 100, and one time I had 124 lines of inquiry, it was impossible to draw lines. So BlueDragon has evolved to where we use a color coding system, and that's what this lesson is about. I wanted to show you the latest and greatest, especially if you haven't been in one of the workshops in over a year. This will be new to you. So let's start with where we are right now. We have a very simple apparent cause, and we've got through maybe one or two of the interview sessions, the facilitated causal analysis sessions, and we're at this point. There's some things that still loose ends, and we've gotten some answers that actually are starting to look the same. So what we end up with is some answers on our board that are, if not identical, they sound close enough that I think we're going to follow them as a single thread, right? And some of these answers just keep coming up in different parts of my chart. And what I want to be able to do is not have to ask the same exact question here and then again for that same answer over here. It doesn't make sense to chart it in 2, 3, 4, 5. I've had as many as 25 identical answers come from all over the board. So we don't want to do that. So what we're going to end up doing is going to a color coding system, which I found to be extremely ergonomic, easy, actually fun. I enjoy it because I like to see the colors on my charts at the end. So how do we do that? Well, let's take this first one, for example, and I'll pick my favorite color, blue. And once we have a repetitive answer, A, the first thing we're going to do is write that answer on whatever color of choice we would like. And so we're going to put the A right here so that we can continue all of these A threads, all of these AY staircases in one spot. And so now we need to cross-reference those answers to this color. And how do we do that? Well, I like to do it this way. You can find your own style or way of doing it, but I simply tuck in that same color underneath so I have a little bit sticking out there. You notice how that works? Doesn't have to be a lot because I don't want it to overwhelm me or draw my attention to it. My attention needs to stay on the common cause, the answer that we're looking for. And a little bit peeking out is great. So I think that tells me exactly what's going on. These 3 Y staircases came from different parts of my analysis, from human performance, equipment interfaces, and error likely situations. They still came up with the same answer. So this common answer in these 3 different lines of inquiry are telling me that this is going somewhere. This is a common problem to a lot of different areas. So this common cause could end up being something interesting. I'm going to pursue it further. And whatever is down here is going to be of very high interest to me. So let's do that again for the next set of repetitive answers, B. And we will follow the same procedure and get this all nice and color-coded. And you can see how without messing up the chart, we have something that's very nice and tidy and easy to follow. So when I start talking about this, and this becomes my storyboard in the end, and I come from the root cause to this particular common cause, could be a significant contributing factor, right? And from here, I can go up the examples. Okay, so as a result of this, I had this, and all I have to do is read the line of inquiry to understand what we're talking about. And also this, and also that. So I have my examples lined up nice and neat for me. And let's do it one more time so that we have a third one. And you're probably asking, how many color Post-its do I have? Well, it isn't infinite, right? There's only maybe 10 if you manage to get some of the more exotic packs of Post-its. So I don't worry about that. In fact, I need to show you how to deal with color blindness, because it is an issue. So in some cases where I need to accommodate the fact that there's either colorblind folks in my organization or I've run out of different colors, well, let me go to the color and a number. That way I can have an infinite number of variations. So for the orange, for example, I need this to be orange 1. So this will be orange 1. And then I could also have orange 2 if I need to reuse the color. So I can have a number and a color, and that makes it easy. And then once you transpose this over to Excel, well, Excel has infinite number of colors, so you can actually make the Excel chart nice and pretty. But here's a way to work around that. So now we have a nice, neat, organized causal factors chart up to this point. Now we continue with our cause and effect analysis, only answering here and not in every one of these places. So now I continue going down, continuing to ask my questions and seeing where they take me. And that is how we manage common causes. One last thing about common causes. I try to make this point in class. The root causes down here, I want you to think of it this way. The root causes down here are common, right? It's a common driver, a common factor to everything above it. So if I have, let me just call it a root cause over here. If I come up with my deepest seated actionable cause, I'll call it a root cause over here. The way I look at this is that this root cause resulted in this problem, which resulted in this problem, which resulted in this problem. So this is common to all of these, plus we know that this is the same answer. So this also was the result of that particular line of inquiry, and this one, and this one. So let me give you a real life example. Let's say, for example, that this was the lack of a pre-job briefing. We didn't have a pre-job briefing, right? And that came out from different places. What could those be? For example, the line of inquiry could have been, why did you make that mistake? And the answers would be, well, I didn't really know about that requirement because I didn't have a pre-job briefing. In another thread, it could be, why didn't you use the right PPE, right? The right equipment for this? Well, I didn't know about the equipment. Why? Because I didn't have a pre-job briefing to discuss safety precautions and equipment, right? You get the gist of it? And same thing here. I had some kind of a precaution in my work order. Why didn't I read the work order to put in place this certain precaution? Maybe I needed an extra observer to watch the area, or a fire watch or something. Well, we didn't read the work order because we didn't have a pre-job briefing. All these things lead me to, I didn't actually hold a pre-job briefing, so lots of things failed, and we found them from asking questions in different directions. So and pursuing the thread of why didn't we do that, that's going to pay off and get into some rich territory. And a lot of clients that I know, they might actually stop here and just say, well, we'll have a pre-job briefing from now on. We'll make sure we do that. And that's not good enough. We need to keep digging until we find out what's really causing this. Okay, so I hope you get the picture. I think it's fun and really simplifies our whole approach. Now take this, and I think I'll show you some of the diagrams, and multiply it times 125 lines of inquiry. with just scores and scores of common causes, 5 root causes, 8 significant contributing factors, and you can really see the benefit of this. No lines, right? No more lines. That's really nice. I like that. No more swastikas, of course, and no more messy Excel charts where I'm drawing lines and connecting lines to boxes on Excel. That's all gone as well. So this really speeds things up on the back end when you're preparing your chart. Very good. It was fun being here with you, and I look forward to seeing you in another lesson.